On September 8, 1966, Gene Roddenberry introduced the world to a new kind of TV show that would change science fiction forever. This show, later called Star Trek, started with many problems. The ideas kept changing, the budget was low, and there were many new people involved. But even with these problems, the show's smart and simple stories helped it stand out. Over time, Star Trek became a huge part of popular culture and still attracts fans today. Its story is one of determination and creativity, showing how it helped start a new chapter in science fiction. As we look back at its history, we can see the challenges it faced and the powerful legacy it left behind. The cast and crew of this show became a close group, mostly brought together by the charming William Shatner, who played Captain Kirk of the USS Enterprise. Working side by side, they helped create something new and special. But the show's path to success was not always smooth. There were many arguments and controversies along the way. The creator and the team were building a different kind of television show, which led to disagreements and added to the show's mystery and lasting charm. One big conflict happened when the creator and the network had different ideas for the show. Roddenberry wanted the show to explore deep and thoughtful topics, but the network wanted something more popular and easy to understand. This led to many heated discussions behind the scenes. Some viewers were also upset with the show's take on serious social topics like race, gender, and politics. Still, the creators stuck to their vision and kept pushing boundaries. There were also personal conflicts within the cast and crew. Some actors had problems with the creator, while others became lifelong friends. Despite all this, they continued working hard and created a show that made a big mark on television history. Their dedication and teamwork helped make Star Trek something truly unforgettable. The limited budget also forced the team to be creative. For example, they made the costumes quickly and cheaply in small workshops. Roddenberry had to make tough choices, like choosing to focus on Spock instead of a strong female character named Number 1. Spock became one of the most famous characters in TV history. Some people thought his appearance, like his green skin and pointy ears, was strange or even scary. But Roddenberry believed in Spock and thought he brought something special to the show. Spock's struggle between his human and Vulcan sides made him a deep and interesting character that people connected with. The show's costumes, while simple and cheap, also became iconic and are still remembered today. The creative decisions made during the show's early days, including how they dealt with money and developed characters, helped make the show a success. They avoided typical Hollywood practices and focused more on meaningful stories and character growth. During the mid-1960s, the show also faced censorship problems. Some storylines were considered too bold, and they had to be changed. William Shatner, the lead actor, made special requests too. He wanted more lines than anyone else and asked for his name to appear bigger than Leonard Nimoy's in the opening credits. These requests caused some tension, but the team kept things professional and continued making great episodes. Even with these issues, the show stayed focused on telling strong and meaningful stories. Shatner's choices may have caused controversy, but his role was important to the show's ongoing success. Star Trek stories and characters still connect with audiences today, showing the power of storytelling and imagination. The show also struggled with writing scripts. The demand for new stories was so high that Roddenberry brought in many different writers, which led to high costs and frequent rewrites. He often changed the scripts heavily, which upset some writers. For example, Richard Matheson and Harlan Ellison were both frustrated when their original scripts were changed. Still, these hard times led to some of the most memorable episodes and helped shape the show's success. In one episode, The Enemy Within, a scene involving Janice Rand and a bad version of Captain Kirk caused concern. Actress Grace Lee Whitney didn't agree with the scene and said it was added without her consent. Behind the scenes, Roddenberry was also rumored to have romantic relationships with 2 female cast members. These things added tension among the crew, but the show continued to gain fans and grow in popularity. It's important to talk about the problems too, like how some female characters were treated or how power was used unfairly. By learning from the past, we can work towards a better future in entertainment. Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock, also faced personal struggles. He felt a lot of pressure from the public and turned to alcohol to cope, which affected his personal life. Still, he stayed professional and gave amazing performances as Spock. There were also money issues with the show's music. The composer, Alexander Courage, had to share his royalties with Roddenberry, who had written lyrics that were never used. This caused tension between them. Even with these problems, Star Trek became a cultural icon. Its messages of unity, exploration, and diversity continue to matter today. During its early run, NBC, the network that aired the show, tried to lower its success by moving it to a bad time slot and cutting its budget. Roddenberry knew the show was in danger, so he asked fans to write letters to show their support. This letter-writing campaign helped save the show for a time and showed how loyal the fans were. The relationship between Shatner and Nimoy also had ups and downs. They grew apart at times but later became close again. However, when Nimoy died in 2015, Shatner chose not to attend the funeral, which made some fans sad. Still, the work they did together continues to be loved. The first version of the show, called The Cage, was rejected by the network. It had a different cast and a more serious, deep story. The network thought it was too complicated and didn't like some of the characters, including a female officer and a green alien girl. Because of this, the show was changed before it aired. Captain Pike was replaced with Captain Kirk, and the stories became more action-packed. These changes helped the show become a big hit. Star Trek first aired in 1966 and quickly built a strong fan base. It followed the crew of the USS Enterprise as they traveled through space, discovering new worlds and life forms. The main characters included Spock, the logical Vulcan, and Captain Kirk, the brave leader. Along with Dr. McCoy and others, they went on exciting adventures across the galaxy. The show was praised for tackling serious issues like racism and war. It inspired spin-offs, movies, and many other products. Star Trek won many awards and is seen as one of the greatest science fiction shows ever made. It continues to inspire people all over the world. Casting the show was also an important part of its success. William Shatner wasn't the first choice for Captain Kirk, but his performance won him the role. Leonard Nimoy was perfect as Spock, bringing emotion and logic to the character. DeForest Kelley played Dr. McCoy and added warmth to the show. Other key roles were played by Nichelle Nichols, James Doohan, George Takei, and Walter Koenig. Their work helped create a believable and diverse crew. Gene Roddenberry, the creator and director of Star Trek, had a strong and new idea for the show. His background in aviation and police work helped him imagine a future full of hope and challenges. He believed in diversity and telling powerful stories, which helped make Star Trek the legend it is today. Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, had a bold and unique vision. He made sure to cast actors from different races and genders in major roles, which was very unusual in the 1960s. At that time, most television shows didn't reflect much diversity. Roddenberry's decision helped Star Trek stand out and gave it a timeless and universal appeal that still resonates with audiences today. Roddenberry was deeply inspired by the science fiction stories of his time. He admired writers like Isaac Asimov and Robert A. Heinlein and took many ideas from their works when building the universe of Star Trek. But it wasn't just books that shaped his vision, his own life experiences and personal beliefs also played a huge role. He strongly believed in peace, unity, and cooperation, and those themes are clear throughout the show. When it came to working with his cast and crew, Roddenberry had a fair and open approach. He encouraged the actors to contribute their own ideas and creativity to their characters. This collaborative style made the set feel like a community and helped create the kind of on-screen chemistry that fans fell in love with. It also played a major role in making the series so popular and long-lasting. One of Roddenberry's key strengths as a director was his focus on visual storytelling. He worked closely with the art department to design beautiful sets, futuristic props, and exciting special effects. From the sleek look of the Starship Enterprise to the strange landscapes of alien planets, every detail helped bring the Star Trek world to life in a powerful and memorable way. The production of the original Star Trek series in 1966 was truly groundbreaking. The set design was way ahead of its time. For example, the bridge of the Enterprise looked like something out of the future, with a touchpad navigation console, a concept not yet common in real life. Most scenes were filmed on studio sets, but this didn't limit creativity. They built detailed areas representing different parts of the ship and alien environments. The engineering room, with its large warp core, was especially impressive. However, filming wasn't easy. The sets were large and complex, which made moving and setting up scenes a challenge. Managing a big cast and many extras took careful planning. The scripts were also filled with scientific terms and fictional cultures, so everyone had to be well prepared. Despite these hurdles, the crew used clever methods to overcome problems. They used a painting technique called the zing to create a sense of deep space on screen by using special light-absorbing paint. To show outer space through the ship's windows, they used rear projection, which involved showing footage of space behind the set. The sound design was just as creative. For instance, the sound of the Enterprise flying through space was made by dragging a leather glove over piano strings. These innovations made the show look and sound unlike anything else on TV at the time. The music of Star Trek was just as important as the visuals. Composer Alexander Courage created the famous main theme, which captured the spirit of exploration and adventure perfectly. He also teamed up with lyricist Norman Gimbel to create a version of the theme with lyrics, though it was rarely used. Composer Gerald Fried added his own touch with emotional and culturally rich music. For example, he used traditional Vulcan instruments in the episode Amok Time to show Spock's inner conflict. His music also helped express different moods in episodes like Shore Leave, where light, fun music shifted to suspenseful tones as the story unfolded. Composer Sol Kaplan added haunting music to the episode The Conscience of the King, adding drama and tension. Together, these composers created a soundtrack that added depth and emotion to every episode. One of the most unforgettable moments in Star Trek is the opening scene narrated by William Shatner, who played Captain James T. Kirk. His voice begins with the famous words, "Space, the final frontier," setting the stage for the show's journey through the unknown. Another classic episode, The City on the Edge of Forever, written by Harlan Ellison, shows Kirk and Spock traveling back to the 1930s. Kirk falls in love with Edith Keeler, played by Joan Collins, but must let her die to prevent a disastrous change in history. The emotional weight of the scene is powerful, and Shatner's performance is deeply moving. Director Joseph Pevney used dim lighting and close-up shots to show Kirk's pain, making the moment even more intense. According to Shatner, it was one of the most emotional scenes he ever filmed, and he worked hard to express both love and duty. Another memorable scene appears in the episode Amok Time, where Spock and Kirk are forced to fight each other in a ritual duel. The choreography, lighting, and colors made the scene unforgettable. The bright red sand and Spock's blue uniform created a striking contrast. Director Joseph Pevney used wide camera angles and fast cuts to capture the drama. Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock, said the fight with Shatner was tough but fun, and they worked closely with stunt coordinators to make every move look real. This scene remains one of the most exciting and iconic fight scenes in TV history, showing the deep bond between Kirk and Spock and the sacrifices they're willing to make for each other. The original Star Trek series made a huge impact on society and pop culture. It introduced audiences to a diverse team that included Asian American and African American characters in important roles. This kind of representation was rare at the time and gave hope to people looking for positive role models on screen. The show's message was clear: people from different backgrounds can work together for a better future. This inclusive vision helped Star Trek earn a loyal fanbase and inspired future science fiction shows. The series didn't shy away from difficult topics either. It explored serious issues like war, racism, and human rights, often using futuristic settings to help viewers think about the real world. These thoughtful storylines made the show more than just entertainment. They encouraged people to reflect and imagine ways to make the world better. In addition to its social message, Star Trek had a huge impact on popular culture. Its characters, catchphrases, and special effects became legendary. Phrases like "Beam me up," "Scotty," and "Live long and prosper" are known even by people who haven't watched the show. The fan community, known as Trekkies, or Trekkers, has played a big part in keeping the franchise alive. Fans organize conventions, write fan fiction, create artwork, and celebrate everything related to Star Trek. When Star Trek first aired in 1966, not everyone loved it. Some critics didn't understand the show's purpose. For example, a New York Times reviewer called it a curious newcomer, and the Washington Post described it as pleasant but not remarkable. But viewers quickly started to appreciate its unique vision. The show received multiple Hugo Awards, including Best Dramatic Presentation for episodes like The Menagerie and The City on the Edge of Forever. These awards confirmed that Star Trek was a groundbreaking show that deserved recognition. After it was cancelled, Star Trek became even more popular in reruns. Its growing fanbase helped launch an entire franchise, animated series, live-action shows, blockbuster films, and a massive collection of merchandise. What started as a 3-season show turned into a global phenomenon that continues to thrive through streaming platforms and new content. Behind the scenes, there were many fascinating stories. In the episode The Devil in the Dark, a creature called the Horter was made by covering bowling balls in plaster. Actress Janos Prohaska wore the creature costume and crawled around the set, enduring discomfort to make the creature look real. During the making of The City on the Edge of Forever, there was a disagreement between Roddenberry and writer Harlan Ellison. Roddenberry changed parts of the script, leading to conflict, but the episode still became a fan favorite. The bond between actors William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy was also very special. Even though they had very different personalities, Shatner was energetic and dramatic, while Nimoy was calm and intellectual. They became close friends. Their real-life friendship helped make their on-screen connection feel genuine and strong. In the end, Star Trek changed the way people think about science fiction and storytelling. Its focus on diversity, thoughtful themes, and hope for the future made it a unique and powerful show. It inspired new generations of filmmakers, fans, and dreamers. From inspiring careers in science and engineering to bringing families together for evening TV, Star Trek became more than just a show, it became a cultural landmark. If Star Trek has made an impact on your life, whether it inspired your career, gave you a favorite character, or created unforgettable memories, feel free to share your story. Let's celebrate the legacy of a series that dared to dream big and still guides us through the stars today. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more cinematic journeys and reflections.